Hi guys, and welcome to another one of my tutorial series. This time I'll be talking to you about the KZ DQ6. Well, and the reason is really quite simple. It's an earphone that the basis was, or the base premise of it was quite interesting. It was it is a 3 dynamic driver hybrid. Two 6mm drivers to handle the mids and the highs, and one 10mm to handle the lows. And it is relatively well tuned. Okay, it's got a relatively engaging sound, although its biggest problem is that it's plagued by an overemphasized area or between 6 and 8K, well 5 and 8K, which can for some of us be a little bit too aggressive. Thus I decided to play around with it a little bit. Mind you, all the mods that I do are mods which are quite easy to do and are reversible, so I don't open up the earphone. I could do it, but that was not the premise of this series. The premise of the series was to make something which is relatively easy for the common DIYer to do, or non-DIYer, but for a person that wants to actually give it a go and try and not complicate things. Anyway, onto the DQ6. I've got quite a few pair of DQ6s. I was going to open up this one, but then I already had one which was already open up, so I'll just show the mods on this one. Anyway, let me just quickly show you the actual earphone. Well, as we know, it's a relatively well built earphone. It's got a kind of a plastic resin looking shell, 10mm driver over there, the two 6s over there, as you can see. I think its main or flaw in terms of the construction is that the nozzle is a little bit too thin. I think the nozzle, if it was slightly wider, it would have allowed for different sound signature to have been obtained and better sound basically. As for the rest of the earphone, well, we know it fits nicely. It's got no real issues. Anyway, what did I do? I grafted standard. I grafted with then two of the mods which I think will probably make the most sense. One of the mods is using low density foam. As you can see here, the white one is the low density, the black is the higher density foam. So I used low density because the higher density foam will straight away cut off more of the frequencies. Actually, let me just show you a graph here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, there we go. Alright, so the blue line is the standard DQ6, okay? That's the standard DQ6, how it is. And you can see that area there of 5, 6, and then 8. Well, 8 is probably a couple of related, but anyway, that area there of 5 and 6 is quite aggressive. And it doesn't really do the whole signature justice, and it can be a little bit harsh and sibilant and so on and so forth. Anyway, the red line is one of the mods that I've done, and actually it's my preferred mod. And over here I've actually got the 3 mods that the 3 graphs, the standard and the 2 mods. As you can see, the green line, okay, which is actually the first one I'm going to show, almost follows the standard blue line, okay, just slightly less, and it is enough just to notice that it does tone down slightly that aggressiveness, okay. And then the red line, it boosts the bass a little bit, maybe like by 2 dBs from standard, just over 2 dBs from standard, but then it tones down that whole, well, from about 1.5K it's quite toned down compared to the standard blue line, and then it also has that same peak there at 8. So I'm gonna say that this aggressiveness or this harshness that we hear in the sound is more related to the 4.5 to 6.5K area than necessarily the 8K area. Anyway, that's the 2 modified versions versus the standard one, and I'll show you what the mods entail. As I was saying, the first mod which was the green line that you see here, which follows very much the blue line, is basically just taking one of these white filters, and I've already got one here ready. Let me just get it here. Okay, so it's basically just taking one of these over here, okay, which I've already adapted a 200 grade filter, and the 200 grade does absolutely nothing to the in terms of the signature, of altering the signature or the frequency response. It's when you start getting to the 300, 400 that then starts altering slightly. So I've just used basically a 200 grade filter, okay, and what you do is the filter is actually stuck after the foam is inserted, but I took that out so I could show you. So this is basically what you do. Okay, so this is basically what you do. You just put the foam in nicely, nice and even, push it in gently until the filter also sits into the actual nozzle. There we go. Push it in, press it down slightly, and that's that. Done. Perfect. See? No issues. As for tips, I used quite a variety of tips, but I found that the tip which actually gave me the best results were these BGVPs, okay, which I've got here on the other modified DQ6. And so these tips on the DQ6, at least for me, they are magical. So that's the one mod, very simple, very easy. The other mod is very similar. The only thing that you do is you actually just put a tangent filter on it. So you take, where is it? Where do I have my filters here? Where do I've got my filters? I had my filters here just a second ago. Well, you take basically the tangent filters from the Tanya, or you can actually buy them separately if you want, and you just put them on the nozzle. It's a simple process, nothing really special. As an alternative, if you cannot get the tangent filters, what you can do is you can actually buy those graded filters that I was talking about. Okay, and you have various grades. Here they are. Okay, as you can see, just get some out the other bag so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Okay, so we have some 500 grade, which will definitely tone down high frequency, some 200, which are just the basic ones, just to terminate the earphone nicely. Some more 200s, yes, some more 500s, yes, some 350s. But anyway, you can get some of these filters, like I was saying, and use that as an alternative. The one which comes closest to the tangent, I would say, is probably about the 300. But for the sake, I mean, they're so cheap, I would recommend you just buying the 300 and the 400, and then you have a few more to actually be able to play around with and so on. But yeah, guys, that's it. So as you can see, it's two very simple mods that really change the signature of the DQ6. Personally, I like more with the tangent filter, so without the foam. I just like the way it just comes together nicely. And actually, let me just show you something which is curious. Okay, so here we go. Here is the DQ6 again with the modified 1, which is the foam, and the modified 2, which is the tangent filter. And I've actually got here a comparison that I did. Here we go. No, sorry, not this one. This one here. There we go. So that's the standard CCA CRA in green, as you can see. Okay. Versus the DQ6 in red, the modified version just with the tangent filter, and then the EDXPRO also modified, okay, which is in blue. And as you can see, the EDXPRO and the well, they all kind of are very similar up to about 5K. They basically stay very much the same. And then at 5K, the DQ6 is the one that has them a little bit more energy and then rolls off quite quickly, while the CRA and the EDXPRO modified, as you can see, they very much follow themselves all the way through past 10k. So it's interesting little comparison here. I'll be doing also a video for the EDXPRO, so watch out for that one. Alright, anyway guys, thank you, take care, bye bye.